Hi everyone, my name is Courtney. I'm Fiber Fox Studios and I want to welcome you to another Mosaic Monday. Today we are going to learn this new pattern of mine, which happens to be for a hand towel and washcloth set that you could use as a really quick and easy gift idea for this Christmas. You of course do not have to work it in Christmas colors. You can work this particular design in any colors that you would like, and it will look, not holiday. But if you want to make it for a quick and easy present, you are going to be able to do that today in this video. I am going to be working the washcloth, but I give instructions for the washcloth and for the hand towel in this video. And we are going to be starting out with our mosaic portion down here at the bottom, and then we work a traditional crochet stitch, which is a crossed double crochet. So it gives us that really nice latticey type effect or eyelet type stitch. And then we finish up with the upside down version mirror image of this particular design. We do the upside down chart up here at the end of the project so that when you fold this and have it hanging, no matter what side you hang it on, it will be the correct orientation of the pattern. You will need to select at least 2 colors of yarn. I used Premier Just Cotton, and I got this at the Dollar Tree. Have a lot of color A left. So color A is your outline of the shapes. And then color B, which is going to be the main color of your project and the color that we start with when we begin our starting chain. I used Yarn Art Jeans, and this is color number 69. So I used this yarn and this yarn, and as you can see, I have plenty left over. So you will definitely be able to make a set with the color A. You might need an extra ball of your color B, just because the hand towel is a lot longer and we're using a lot more color B there. So in that chart set, I do have a couple different design variations, we should say, and this is one of them. And all the charts do have the upside down, so that if you wanted to do top down projects or something like a scarf where you want your trees to be in the correct direction when you have it around your neck, then you would use the right side orientation and then the upside down orientation chart in that same project to make a scarf, a shawl, that sort of thing. Or like I said, the upside down are always great for your top down projects. So we also have this design, which I was thinking of for more of like a blanket, and my lighting is terrible today, so I do apologize, but hopefully you can see it enough to see what the design looks like. We are going to grab your yarn and your favorite crochet hook and jump into that tutorial. Grab color B because we're going to begin chaining in color B. For those of you who are interested in the chart set and the written pattern, it will be linked down in the description, and you will find your row start times to get started on this project and refer back to different rows as you need to, all down in that description. So let's jump in and get started. To begin, you are going to chain a total of 46 starting chains for this particular pattern, and that is going to determine the total width of either your washcloth or the hand towel. So if you want this to be wider, bigger, then you are going to add 21 stitches to this chain count. Our multiple that we're working the mosaic portion in is in a multiple of 21 plus 4. So if you want to adjust this, I've already added the 4 stitches to this chain count. So you would only add in sets of 21 chains to grow this out and have a wider washcloth or hand towel. Maybe you're doing a full-size bath towel with it. So you are just going to add in sets of 21 stitches. For the rest of us who are going to follow the pattern exact, we are now going to begin row number 1. To begin row 1, we are going to skip 1 chain and move here into that second chain, doing a traditional single crochet. So all that means we are working under the V to do that very first stitch of the row. And this is how you will begin every row. When you're doing the mosaic portion, you will be working a traditional single crochet in the start of your row. Now we begin the repeat for row number 1, which is a back loop only single crochet worked in all of our stitches except for the very last stitch of the row. So we are going to work here into the very next stitch, picking up one side of that stitch, the back loop. Then we grab our yarn and pull up a loop, grab our yarn and pull through those 2 loops that we have. So it's a single crochet just like normal from there. It's our position that's going to make it mosaic. So we move here into the next stitch, picking up that back loop only and working 1 single crochet. So for the mosaic portion throughout this pattern, I will refer to these just as single crochets, but you will know that anytime you are working a overlay mosaic with me, all single crochets that are part of our repeat are always done in the back loop only. So you're going to keep working, and then we will meet up at the row end to finish out the end of the row, and I'll show you how to do your bind off. I'm now here at my row end. I've worked a back loop only single crochet in all of my stitches. I have 1 stitch left. In our final stitch of every single row, when you're doing the mosaic section, you are going to go into that complete stitch, so completely in under the V. There we go. And we single crochet just like normal. So you pull up your loop, grab and pull through those 2. Now, during this mosaic section, we are going to be binding off at the end of every row. So you are going to chain up 2, 1, and 2. Clip your yarn. And now we need to cinch this down. So you're going to pull your hook on out, bringing out that tail to the top of the stitch. Grab the tail. Place your thumb and index right above those 2 chains you just made. Pull up on the tail while you push down with your thumb and index. Perfect little knot right here at the end of the row. Now after binding off, we're going to return back here to the start of our row. So we go back to the first stitch. We do not turn our work. And we are going to identify the first full V that we see. So we have that little turning chain side bump here, little situation. We can scoot that down out of the way. If it moves, it's not your first stitch. That's a good rule of thumb. So you don't want to get your count off. We've got our 45 working stitches now, and we want to maintain that for the rest of the project. So we need to insert here under that V into the complete stitch. And we are going to grab color A this time and join on with color A. So for me, that's going to be the white cotton. Completely up to you, whatever colors you want to use. Does not matter. Get my ball band off. I'm using the cheapest that I could get. So that's how I roll. And we're going to add color A onto our hook now. So I just take the strand of yarn, got the tail right here, and I fold that and lay it over the hook. Now we are going to pull up that loop, grab your tail and working yarn, both of those, and chain 1. Now allow that tail to fall. And we need to go right back into the same stitch so that we can finish our traditional single crochet for joining on. So we go into the same stitch again, grab and pull up our loop, and then you grab and pull through what's going to feel or look like 3 little loops here at the end. And we now have done our join on of color A for row number 2. That's how you're going to be joining on every single row from here forward. I won't show it every row, but that is exactly what you need to do. Sorry about dropping the hook. All right, so now we're going to move on to row number 2's repeat, which is exactly like row 1. We are going to be working a single crochet in each stitch. And as you already know, since this is a repeat and we're working the mosaic section, all of these single crochets will be worked in the back loop only. So we grab the back loop, pick that up, and begin to single crochet. So there's 1. We're going to work 1 in all of our stitches, and then that'll be a total of 43 back loop only single crochets down your row. For those of you who need the counts, It'll be 43 back loop only single crochets, and then you'll finish the end of the row with a traditional single crochet going completely in that last stitch. And we'll meet up for row 3. So carry on working, and we'll be back in just a moment. Row 3 begins now. We are working in color B. Row 3's repeat is just like our last 2 rows. We're doing our single crochets in each and every stitch. Try not to split your yarn. I split cotton really bad. I'm hopefully not the only one. But work 1 single crochet, making sure you're picking up that back loop only in all of your stitches all the way down the row. And we'll meet up for row number 4 in just a moment. Remember, that last stitch in the row is always going to be a traditional single crochet going under that V. So that's all you need to do that is different from what I am showing you now. So we will be back in just a moment for row number 4. Row number 4 begins now, and we are working in color A. So for row 4, we're going to work this repeat twice, and that's what we're going to be doing from row forward as we are working this mosaic section. If you're following my counts, each of the repeats I am going to give you and work with you once on screen, and then you work the second one to finish out the row by yourself. Since this is our first row where we are doing a specific set of 21 stitches to make up the repeat, I will work it twice with you here on row 4, but after that we'll revert back to me showing the repeat one time, and you will know that you are going to repeat it again a second time to end out your row. And we're going to begin row 4's repeat right now. So to begin row 4's repeat, we're going to be working 1 double crochet, and all of our double crochets are going to be worked just the same way throughout the mosaic section of this pattern. You're going to wrap your yarn just like normal, and then we need to identify the very next stitch in our row, slide directly down, picking up this front loop that we left from doing back loop only single crochets, and we just slide underneath it. Now we want to grab our yarn and pull up a loop, grab and pull through 2, grab and pull through 2. And so we finish out a double crochet just like normal from there, but it's our position that's going to make it mosaic and help to create our pattern that we see the shapes. So now we're going to continue our repeat with 4 single crochets. 1, of course, remember, back loop only. 2, 3, 4. 1 double crochet, so we wrap, find that very next stitch, and we are going to slide directly down, pick up that front loop, slide under, grab our yarn and pull up a loop, grab and pull through 2, grab and pull through 2, 3 single crochets. Make sure you identify the very next stitch. Let me show you something. You can fold this back, and each double crochet we work takes up 1 stitch back here on the previous row. So you want to make sure that you have your position correct. When you place that double crochet back into position, it covers up that stitch, and that's how we know this is where we start those 3 single crochets. So right here into this next stitch, 1, 2, and number 3. 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, oops, and we will end our repeat with 7 single crochets. So we want to identify our very next stitch correctly. So right here is where I believe my next stitch is. Fold that back and check. Now we just begin with our single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that ends our repeat for row 4. So let's recap that real quick. Row 4's repeat began with 1 double crochet, 4 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet. We end with 7 single crochets. So that set of 21 stitches makes up our repeat for this row. So for this pattern, we're going to work this one more time and we'll work that together. For those of you who may be working this bigger, have added chains to your starting chain, you'll just keep repeating this exact set of stitches as many times as you need to until you have 2 stitches left at the end of the row. And then that's where you'll meet up with me again to work your row in together with me. So you can learn how we're going to be doing those for the entire pattern. So now we're going to start our repeat one more time. So our repeat for row 4 begins with 1 double crochet. So just wrap that yarn. Find that next stitch. Slide down. Pick up that double crochet, little, or front loop I should say, and do our double crochet. 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet. And we will end our repeat by working 7 single crochets over the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7. So that ends our repeat for the second time here on row 4. So as you can see, once you have completed the first repeat, you immediately start your second repeat over. So you start that repeat and work it again, all 21 stitches of it. And then at the end of every row, no matter what size, whether you're working on pattern with me or you've done something else, at the end of every single row, you are going to have 2 stitches left. We're going to work the end of the row the same way for each row. However, I want to point out this pattern is not meant to be necessarily even at the row end. That's just how it was designed. So we will be restarting our repeat, and we will work the first stitch of the repeat here at the row end, and then we will do our traditional single crochet in the last, but we will not match end of row and beginning of row. And that is correct for this pattern in the way that I designed it. So we are now going to work our row end. So we have the 2 stitches. Row 4's repeat starts with a double crochet. So that's what we will work here next in the second to last stitch. So we're going to restart our repeat for 1 stitch. And now we have our final stitch in the row, and we know we always do a traditional single crochet in that stitch. And then you can chain up 2 or bind off however you prefer. I go with the chain up 2 and do the knotted bind off. Now we can move on to row number 5. So here's what your work will look like after you have completed row 4. We are now moving on to row number 5, and we're joining on with color B this time. Our repeat for row number 5 begins with 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1, and number 2. One single crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1, 2. Now we will work 2 single crochets. 1 and number 2. 1 double crochet. 1 single crochet. We'll continue with 1 double crochet. 1 single crochet. And we'll end the repeat with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and number 3. So let's recap what we've done. Row number 5's repeat began with 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 2 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, and we end the repeat with 3 double crochets. So you're going to continue to work that exact set of stitches all the way down your row, and then you will meet up with me when you are ready for row number 6. So you're going to work that set one more time if you're on pattern with me. And at the end of the row, you will find that you have 2 stitches left. You will restart the repeat for the second to last stitch, so right here, and then traditional single crochet in the last. So for row 5, your row end will be 1 single crochet worked in the back loop on top of this double crochet, and then traditional single crochet in the last. So we'll be back in just a moment. Row 6 begins now, and we are working in color A. Our repeat for row number 6 begins with 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6. 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. 1 double crochet, 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and number 4. 1 double crochet, And we end the repeat by working 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and number 3. I got a big old knot to deal with in a moment. Now, that ends our repeat, so let's recap it. So, row number 6 repeat began with 6 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 4 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and then we end with 3 single crochets. So you're going to keep working that exact set of stitches. You'll begin with your 6 single crochets next. So you will have a section where you have 9 single crochets along through here, and that is correct. So just keep working exactly as I am telling you, and you'll be fine. We'll meet up for row number 7. When you're ready, remember row end, you just restart your repeat for 1 stitch. So that'll be a single crochet. And then you do a traditional single crochet in the very last stitch of the row. Row 7 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row number 7's repeat begins with 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1, and number 2. 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 2 single crochets, 1, and number 2, 1 double crochet, and we will end our repeat by working 7 single crochets over these next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7. So that ends the repeat. Let's recap it. Row number 7's repeat began with 3 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 2 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 7 single crochets ends that repeat. So you're going to continue to work that exact set, and you will meet up with me when you're ready for row number 8. Remember, row end, you're going to have 1 double crochet, and then you will traditional single crochet in that last stitch. So your clue, basically, I should have said this a lot earlier, is whatever we did here in this first stitch that begins the row, first stitch that begins the repeat, that's your clue for everything you're doing when you get down to the end of your row and you have just the 2 stitches left. So hopefully that'll help. And we'll be back for row 8. Row number 8 begins now, and we are joining on with color A. Our repeat for row number 8 begins with 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1 double crochet, and we end the repeat with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap it. Row number 8's repeat began with 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 3 single crochets. So you're going to continue to work that exact set on down your row, and then you will meet up with me for row 9. Remember, row end, you're going to have 2 stitches left, single crochet in the second to last, working in that back loop, and then do your traditional single crochet in the very last stitch of the row. So we'll be back in just a moment. Row 9 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row number 9's repeat begins with 1 double crochet right here in this next stitch. Five single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. 1 double crochet ends that repeat. So now let's recap what we've done. Row number 9's repeat began with 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, and then we end the repeat with 1 double crochet. So continue to work that exact set of stitches and meet up with me for row number 10. Row 10 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row number 10's repeat begins with 2 single crochets. So we're going to do 2 single crochets to begin our repeat. 1 and 2. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6. 1 double crochet, and we end the repeat with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and number 3. So let's recap it. Row number 10's repeat began with 2 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 6 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end the repeat with 3 single crochets. So continue to work that exact set of stitches and meet up with me for row number 11. Row 11 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 11's repeat begins with 2 double crochets, there's 1, and number 2. 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and number 3. 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, and we end the repeat with 1 single crochet. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap it real quick. Row number 11's repeat began with 2 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 5 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end the repeat with 1 single crochet. So you're going to continue to work this exact set of stitches on down your row, and then we will meet up for row number 12. Row number 12 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row number 12's repeat begins with 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we will work 1 double crochet. 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7. 1 double crochet. And we end the repeat with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap what we've done. Row number 12's repeat began with 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 7 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end the repeat with the 3 single crochets. So continue to work this exact set of stitches all the way down your row. Meet up with me for row number 13. Row 13 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 13's repeat begins with 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 single crochet, I mean. 2 double crochets, 1, and number 2, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1, and number 2. Now we will work 1 single crochet, 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, and we end the repeat with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and number 3. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap it. Row number 13's repeat began with 3 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 5 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, and we end with 3 double crochets. So you're going to continue to work that exact set of stitches and then meet up with me when you're ready for row number 14. Row number 14 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row number 14's repeat is very, very simple. We are going to be working a single crochet in each of our stitches. So we're still in the mosaic portion on the pattern, so you are working back loop only on these, but you're going to place 1 single crochet in all of our stitches, and then we will meet up for row 15. When you're ready, don't forget, last stitch in the row, you have to do your traditional single crochet, going completely in the stitch, and then bind off. Row number 15 begins now. You are going to be working in color B. This is going to be our last mosaic row, but we will not be binding off at the end of this row. So please do not cut your yarn at the end of row 15. We're going to begin working our repeat now. Row 15's repeat is exactly like row 14. We're going to be working a single crochet in each and every stitch all the way down the row, except for the last stitch, which will be a traditional single crochet. And like I said, we are not binding off at the end of the row. So you're going to work a single crochet in all of your stitches and then meet up with me at the end of the row when you have your final stitch left. We'll work that traditional single crochet together, and then we will be moving on to row 16 without clipping our yarn. And that will begin our traditional crochet methods from this point forward while we build out the center of the cloth or hand towel. We are now here at the end of row 15, and you'll have your 1 stitch left. We've worked our single crochets in the back loop only all the way down the row. And now we're going to end our row and move on to row 16. So the one thing you need to remember is we're now ending our mosaic portion, and we are going to begin working in traditional crochet methods, doing a cross double crochet section for the center of, this is a washcloth for me, but whatever project you're making, we're going to be working on that center section, and we're going to be repeating the same rows. We need to end this row. So we go into the last stitch just like normal, completely into the stitch under the V, single crochet, and we're going to chain 2, but this time we do not clip our yarn. We're not cinching down. This chain 2 is going to help us turn our work. It does not count as a stitch. So we just chain 2, and now we need to turn our work over for the first time. So you're going to look at the back side of the mosaic section. We're working in color B from this point forward, and we'll be repeating this instruction. I'll give you the row information and everything in just a moment, but to start out, we need to do a double crochet into this first stitch. So we have it all there. We have our chain 2, and then we work in that same ending stitch of the row and do our first double crochet for this row, working completely in that stitch because we're back to regular crochet terms, normal crochet methods. So now we need to skip 1 stitch. So this one right here next to us, skip this stitch. And we are going to move here into this next stitch, and we want to work a double crochet. So we skip 1, move here into this stitch, going completely in, and double crochet just like normal. Now we are going to work one more double crochet, but we are going to go backwards, coming here to the skipped stitch. So we want to grab and wrap our yarn and then go back here to the skipped stitch and insert our hook. It's going to come out here on the back side, or other side, I should say. So now we want to grab our yarn and pull up a loop. And we want to bring this up to the height of our other double crochet. So we don't want to be way down here and have it real tight because that will squish everything in. You want to bring up this loop that we just pulled up to our working height. And now we're going to finish a double crochet like normal. So we grab and pull through 2. And grab and pull through those last 2 loops on our hook to finish our stitch. So we now are going to keep repeating this step all the way down until we just have 2 stitches left at the end of the row. So we are going to work this together a few more times. You want to make sure that you notice that when we do our cross double crochet, the stitch that we've already worked is going to kind of pull out and look a little bit bigger. So don't work back into that stitch. We are going to wrap our yarn and we're going to work a double crochet. We're going to skip this next stitch and work our double crochet into the second stitch. So going completely into that single crochet. Now we're going to work our double crochet, going back in to that skipped stitch. So I'm going back here, inserting the hook, pulling up a loop, pull it to height, and then finish your double crochet just like normal. I'm going to work it again, skip the next stitch, double crochet into the very next. Now we're going to work a double crochet, going back here into our skipped stitch. Pull our loop up to height, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now we're going to double crochet again. We're going to skip the next stitch and work into the following, doing our double crochet. Now we are going to go and work our double crochet into our skipped stitch. So you just keep repeating that exact steps. Skip the next stitch, work into the following, doing our double crochet. Now we're going to finish out the cross by going back into that skipped stitch to work our next double crochet. Skip one, double crochet into the next, and then double crochet into the skipped stitch. Skip the next stitch, double crochet into the next, then double crochet back here into the skip stitch. Continue on down until you just have 2 stitches left at the end of the row. We are now here at the end of row 16. I have worked a total of 21 crossed double crochet stitches down my row. So obviously this right here at the beginning of the row does not count. It's not a crossed double crochet. Just count those to make sure you're staying on track. You will have 21 of those sets of those stitches. Now we have 2 stitches left here at the end of the row. If it's hard for you to see exactly what's going on here, since you're looking at the back side, you can always turn it over and you can see the stitch where we started the row and the one right beside it. Those are our last 2 stitches on row 16. So we want to make sure that we are working all of our row ends exactly as I'm about to show you. In our second to last stitch, we are going to work 1 double crochet. Now in our very last stitch of the row, you are going to work 1 double crochet into that now. So instead of that single crochet that we were ending with, we're now doing a double crochet worked into our complete stitch here on the last stitch of the row. Now we need to chain 2 and turn our work to move on to row number 17. So chain 2, turn. So now for row 17, we are going to be repeating this row 15 times total. If you're making the washcloth, it will be double that or so if you're doing the hand towel. But we need to begin our row by working a double crochet into this first stitch. This chain 2 does not count as a stitch. We work here into the very first stitch, going completely into that stitch and under the V, and you are going to double crochet. Now we're going to begin our repeat for this row. We are going to skip the next stitch and work a double crochet here into the next stitch. So skip 1, double crochet just like we did before. This time we're working into our previous sets of cross double crochets. So we need to finish this first cross double crochet. We're going to now wrap our yarn and double crochet back in to the skipped stitch. In there. Now we just pull up our loop and work our double crochet like normal. We're going to continue working that exact sequence in that exact manner on down the rest of our row. I will do it a few more times with you. We are going to skip the next stitch and work here into the very next double crochet, going into that top of that stitch, into the complete stitch. And we're going to double crochet. And now we are going to double crochet back here into our skipped stitch. So again, just stretch your work out. Make sure you can see what you're really doing here. We're going to skip the next stitch and work into the next, doing our double crochet. Now we are going to work into that skip stitch, doing a double crochet. So that is all you have to do. Skip 1 stitch, double crochet into the next, and then double crochet back here into the skip stitch. Once you get used to doing it, it flows so quickly and you're going to breeze through this section of the pattern. So you can continue to work on down your row. We will meet up one final time to do the row end for row 17 together, and then I'll tell you how many times you need to repeat for both either the washcloth or the hand towel. So I am now here at the end of row 17. I have worked 21 crossed double crochets and I have 2 stitches left. So just like we learned previously, you are going to double crochet into the second to last stitch. Double crochet into the very next stitch, which I like to use this chain 2 that we used as a turning chain. I like to actually work through here, going in between my last double crochet in that chain 2 space, or that chain 2 that we have here at the row end. And that's where I want to place my final double crochet for the row end. That helps hold a very straight edge to the pattern or to the cloth when you're, working it and finished with it. So now we chain up 2, and you are going to rewind and repeat row 17's instruction. I'm going to repeat row 17 14 more times off camera, and then I will meet up with you when I'm ready to move into the second mosaic section to finish up the washcloth. So I have completed the center section of my washcloth. I repeated the cross double crochet 14 more times. So I have a total of 16 rows of the cross double crochet. If you are doing the hand towel version, you would have 37 more rows to repeat, which would give you a total of 39 rows of the cross double crochet section. So it just depending on which project you're going with or what you're making, this is what your work should look like mine here, or longer. And now we're going to begin our second mosaic section, and this time we're going to be working the exact same pattern, but we'll be utilizing the upside down chart because we started here and we're working bottom up. And if we were to just repeat this section just as it is, when you look at your washcloth, this would be upside down up here when it's folded in half. So you would not have a mirror image of this pattern in the correct orientation over here on the other side. So we need to work the upside down chart next, and we're going to begin that instruction right now. So for me, I'm on row 32. I'm beginning row 32. But if you are working the hand towel, this would be row 55 for you. So I'm counting from the very first row we made all the way up here to where we're ending this section. So now we will begin row 32, and we are still working in color B. When you ended your last row of this double crochet section, you should have worked to the end of your row, and then on your pattern it says chain 1 here. So as we transition back into doing our overlay mosaic, we need to just chain 1 here at the end of our final row of cross double crochet so that we can turn our work and begin working. We are going to be working row 32 in color B. Beginning row 32, we should have had a chain 1 from our last row here of our cross double crochet. So I have a chain 1, turn my work, and now we're going to begin working in the mosaic technique again. So that means the single crochets that are going to make up this row are going to be worked back loop only. So we need to take a look at the top of your work and identify where we are. So our first stitch of the row is always a traditional single crochet. So working into the top of that first double crochet, we single crochet. Now we're going to begin working our back loop only single crochets, and that's going to be our repeat for the row. So we have to turn and look at the top side of our work, and we're going to identify one loop. This one loop that's hanging out here, this is really the back loop. If you were to look at your work from this side, our back loop is going to be the first loop that we see when we're turned around where we're working. So you're going to be picking up that one loop back here on each stitch to work our single crochets. So now let's do that. Single crochet. And we need to place one single crochet into each of our stitches. So if you look from this back side, pick up one side of the loop. And you're going to be still maintaining that same stitch count that we had before. So you do not want to change anything, add anything. So if you're making the washcloth, you still have 45 stitches. And you are going to have a total of 43 back loop only single crochets. And then one traditional single crochet at the start of the row. And one traditional single crochet at the end of the row. So you're going to continue to work, picking up this one loop, the true back loop, and work one single crochet, and then meet up with me at the end of the row, and we will work that together. We're now here at the end of row 32, and as you can see here, this is our last stitch. This is how we're going to be ending this row. I am still going to utilize the space in between our final double crochet of the previous row and the chain 2, and that is where I'm going to work my traditional single crochet, going into that space between, and then single crochet just like normal from there. Now we need to chain up 2 and bind off. So we're going to be doing our knotted bind off, because we're going to flip our work back over and we're going to work in color A next. So I'm going to chain up 2, clip, and cinch that down. Okay. So now we're going to turn the work back over. If you can look at what I am doing here, I have the back side of the mosaic, so I need to turn my work. And now we can begin row 33. We're going to join on with color A. So as you can see, just confirming, your work is now front side facing up. So you're looking at the front of your work. We're moving up here at the top. So we flipped everything over after we worked our last row. And we are joining on for row 33 with color A. So we're going to go here to the front of our row, or the first stitch. And we want to insert into that complete stitch to work our traditional single crochet to join on. So traditional single crochet into this first stitch. So after joining on color A, we are going to begin our repeat for row 33, and that's going to be very simple. We're working a back loop only single crochet into each stitch. So we're back into the mosaic section. So these again are going to just be called single crochets, and you're going to know when we're working this section, all of your repeat stitches that are single crochets are always worked in the back loop only. So place 1 in every stitch at the end of the row. You are going to place a traditional single crochet in your final stitch, and then you will bind off and meet up with me for row 34. Row number 34 begins now, or 57 if you're working the hand towel, and we are joining on with color B. Our repeat for row 34 is very, very simple. It's just like our previous repeat. We are going to be working a single crochet in each and every stitch. Obviously, since this is the mosaic portion, you guys know we are back loop only on these. So you're going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch, do a traditional single crochet into the last stitch of the row, and bind off. Meet up with me for row 35. Row 35 begins now, and we are working in color A. Our repeat for row 35 is just like our previous 2. We're going to be working a single crochet in each stitch. So work on down your row and meet up with me for row number 36 whenever you're ready. Same row in, traditional single crochet, Pretty sure you have the hang of it by now, but we'll be back in just a moment. Row 36 begins now, or 59 if you're doing the towel, and we're working in color B. Our repeat for row 36 begins with 3 double crochets. Remember, we're back in the mosaic portion, so these are going to be the mosaic double crochets where we're dropping down and anchoring to this front loop. So we identify our next stitch, slide directly down, pick up that front loop, and then you're going to finish out your double crochet just like normal from there. So there's 1. We need to do a total of 3. Here's number 2. And number 3. One single crochet. Oops, slip my yarn. There we go. 2 double crochets. There's 1 and number 2. Now we will work 1 single crochet right here into the next stitch. 2 double crochets. 1 and number 2. 1 single crochet. 5 double crochets. 1 2 3 4 and number 5. 1 single crochet. 1 double crochet. 1 single crochet, and we'll end the repeat by working 3 double crochets. 1 2 3. That ends the repeat. Let's recap. Row number 36 repeat began with 3 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 5 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, and then we end with 3 double crochets. So you're going to continue to work that exact set of stitches, and you'll meet up with me when you are ready for row number 37. Remember, at the end of this row, you have to restart your repeat for 1 stitch and then traditional single crochet in the last stitch of the row. So for row 36, our row end, those last 2 stitches is going to be 1 double crochet and then traditional single crochet. So we'll be back in just a moment. Row number 37 begins now, and we are working in color A. This is row 60 if you are on the hand towel or making the hand towel. Our repeat for row number 37 begins with 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and number 3. 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 'Now we're going to work 1 double crochet, 7 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 double crochet, 'And we end the repeat with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and number 3. So that ends the repeat. Let's recap. Row number 37's repeat began with 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 7 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and then we end with 3 single crochets. So continue to work that exact set, and we'll meet up for row 38 in just a moment. Row 38 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 38's repeat begins with 2 double crochets, 1, and number 2. 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and number 3. 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. We will now work 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we will work 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now we will work 1 double crochet. 1 single crochet into this next stitch to end that repeat. So let's recap what we've done. Row 38's repeat began with 2 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 5 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and then we end with 1 single crochet. So you're going to continue to work that exact set of stitches, and then you will meet up with me when you are ready for row number 39. Row 39 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 39's repeat begins with 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6. 1 double crochet, and we end the repeat with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and number 3. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap. Row number 39's repeat began with 2 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 6 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and then we end with 3 single crochets. So continue that set and meet up with me for row number 40. Row 40 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 40's repeat begins with 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. And we end the repeat with 1 double crochet. So that ends the repeat. Let's recap real quick. Row number 40's repeat began with 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, and we end with 1 double crochet. So you're going to continue to work that exact set of stitches and then meet up with me when you're ready for row 41. Row 41 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 41's repeat begins with 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3. 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and number 3. Now we will work 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets to end the repeat. 1, 2, oops, and number 3. So let's recap it. Row number 41's repeat began with 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 3 single crochets. So continue to work that exact set and meet up with me when you're ready for row number 42. Row 42 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row number 42's repeat begins with 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and number 3. 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1, 2. Now we will work 2 single crochets, 1, and number 2. 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and number 3. 2 single crochets, 1, and number 2. 1 double crochet, and we'll end the repeat by working 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that ends our repeat. So let's recap it. Row number 42's repeat began with 3 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 2 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 7 single crochets. So continue to work that set and meet up with me when you're ready for row number 43. Row number 43 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 43's repeat begins with 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6. 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. 1 double crochet, 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 double crochet, and we are going to finish out this repeat with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. So let's recap what we've done. Row number 43's repeat began with 6 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 4 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and then we end with 3 single crochets. So continue to work that exact set of stitches and meet up with me for row 44. Row number 44 begins now, and we are working in color B. Our repeat for row 44 begins with 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1, and number 2, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 1, and number 2, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1, and number 2, 2 single crochets, 1, and 2, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, and we will end the repeat by working 3 double crochets over these next 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and number 3. Now let's recap what we've done. Row 44's repeat began with 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets, 2 double crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, and then we end with 3 double crochets. So continue to work that exact set and meet up with me when you're ready for row 45. Row 45 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row number 45's repeat begins with 1 double crochet, 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and number 3. 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, and I guess we end the repeat by working 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap it. Row number 45's repeat began with 1 double crochet, 4 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 7 single crochets. So you're going to keep repeating this exact set of stitches and meet up with me one final time for row 46 and ending your pattern, finishing up with these tails. Row 46 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 46 repeat is very, very simple. You're going to be doing your back loop only single crochet in all of your stitches, but do not bind off at the end of the row. We want to meet up there at the end. We're going to be working a single crochet in all of our stitches. Then we'll do our traditional single crochet in the last stitch, but then we must chain 1 and we're going to do a row of slip stitch. So I'll meet back up with you when we're here at the row end to do that row end and start you off on your slip stitch to finish out the edge of the washcloth or towel, whichever one you made. So we're going to begin doing our single crochets now. I'll do a few of them with you. So this is our entire repeat for the row. 1 single crochet each stitch, 2 all the way down. Oh, more of what we've been doing, basically. If you remember how we began down at the bottom here, we've got to thicken up our first line of green that you see. So that's why we need to meet up and do the chain 1 and slip stitch row together. I'm counting this all as row 46 instruction as far as the pattern goes, because it's just to finish off the edge. So to me, it's not really a full row and it's slip stitch, but we'll be back in just a moment to meet up and do that final finishing. And then I will handle the ends on camera with you, or I'll show you a few of them, and we will be done. So very quick and easy little project. Now here at the end of row 46, and we have this 1 stitch left. So I'm going to go into that stitch, traditional single crochet. And now we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. And I like to finish out by doing a slip stitch round. So I really am going to slip stitch into every single stitch. Here at the very beginning of the row, you'll see I'm going to go into just this one leg of the stitch. It's the back loop. If you were looking at it from the front side or right side of the project, it would be your back loop of those single crochets. And so I insert my hook into there, and I'm going to pull that loop on up and pull on through the loop that is on my hook. And I'm going to work 1 slip stitch, picking up that back loop, single loop there, in each of these. So slip on through, insert into the next, and then pull through, into the next, one side of the stitch only. Grab that yarn and pull through, and pull on through the loop on your hook. Try not to get very tight on this row. You don't want to cause any curling or anything, so you just want to keep nice even tension. Do not go all crazy on it and pull everything super tight, because you'll notice that it will cause you to curl in. Now, the result on the other side is a little bit thicker of a bottom line, which helps it to better match with how we look here at the start of the project. So that is why we're doing that row. I am going to finish off camera, and we will meet back up to do our tails here at the mosaic ends, and then you are done. So now that you are finished, the top of your work where we ended and the bottom should look approximately the same size as far as that final line goes. It'll look same thickness as what I'm trying to say. Now the last step, the only other thing you have to do is the tails on the mosaic section. And the one thing I need to make sure you understand is start with the starting side of your project. We did not knot these tails in. They're not binded in any way. They're just literally looped in there into that very first stitch of the row. So we need to make sure that we knot them, because this is going to be an item that's going to be used. It's going to be washed in a machine. That's our intention, is a lot of tug and pull. So we do not want anything to pull out. We don't want to have tails going everywhere as someone uses their washcloth or their hand towel. So I am going to show you real quick. I'm on my starting side. So this is the side where I began all of my rows. And you are going to identify where your tail is coming out. Take a look right here. You can see that tail's coming out over here. I want to make sure that I am inserting my hook on the opposite side of where it comes out. So in this case, I'm going to the left of this little bar here where the tail is pinned. So I take my hook, insert it in. Now I'm going to grab my yarn and pull up a loop. And then I need to grab again, and I'm going to chain 1. And if you have enough tail, you can chain 2. Just like we do our knotted bind off at the end of our mosaic row. So now I'm going to cinch that down. Best I can anyway. I didn't leave a long enough tail on this one, as you can tell. Let me try setting down that hook. And with the cotton yarn, it is hard to cinch it, especially if you don't get it on that first try. But I've got a good little knot there. Now I'm going to look here at the back side of my work. So we're going to do this with all of our starting side tails. The rest of this instruction is what you will do on the other side as well. So we have a little knot sticking out here. So once you have knotted all of your tails, we are going to find any place here on the back side of our work. Want to just get in on the back here as close as we can. And we are going to do the same thing. We're going to pull up a loop, and then we need to chain 1. You can do a chain 2 if you have enough tail. But of course I picked one that I can't show you that. And now we just cinch that down. So slide. And we're going to have that little knot. Now, if your tail is long enough, you can sew in some at this point. I'm clipping this off. And I will show you one more time on this next tail. So again, I'm identifying where the yarn is coming out. If I stick my hook in here and I go right here on the same little bar that the yarn is coming out from, I'll undo the stitch. So that's why I'm pointing that out to y'all, is we want to make sure we go opposite of where the yarn is coming out and insert our hook. So when I'm bringing this over, I'm not undoing anything. It's going to stay tied in there just like it needs to be. And then I can cinch and chain up and then cinch that down. Now we go to the back side of our project. And we are going to take that tail. We're going to find a loop or something here on the back side, whatever we can get into. So see, I'm picking up this right here. I'm very close to where my tail is. And now I grab that strand of yarn and pull up a loop. And then I can chain up 2 and bind off back here on the back side. My only tip on doing this, if you're going to be clipping off the excess, is try to not line up all these little knots. It'll become noticeable if you do that. So like on this one, my second one, I'm going to bring my yarn on down another stitch and do the knotted bind off again. So when I clip, the tail end is down here instead of up here. So just kind of stagger them along and then they will disappear completely. So that is all you need to do to handle your tails. Once you are finished, you have your beautiful washcloth or hand towel. And right now you see how this side is the correct orientation. This side is upside down. But when we fold it, like we would do if we had this draped over a rack or the side of the tub. And when you look at the other side, it's now correct orientation. So either way, you could use this hand towel or washcloth. You could have it displayed decoratively like on one of your racks and stuff in the bathroom. And it wouldn't matter which side you're looking at. It's going to be correct as far as the orientation on the pattern. Okay, so hopefully you have enjoyed this one. I know that I enjoyed making the video for you. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, please make sure that you are giving this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it and you want to continue to see content like this coming out on my channel. Please make sure that you are leaving me a comment. And as always, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss anything that I put out. Thank you so much for your time, for watching. I hope to see lots of pictures posted on Instagram. Tagged Fiber Fox Studios would be greatly appreciated so I can see your work. And until next time, as always, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and bye for now.